Hello, everyone. It's Stacy with Real Life Psychology and Life Coaching. And today we are going to continue chapter 7 of my book, Get It Together Now, with how to be in public and how to be in private. Ooh, we got some juicy stuff to talk about. Are you guys ready to have a seat on the couch? All right, let's do it. Hey everyone, thank you for joining me this Sunday to talk about Chapter 7 in Get It Together Now, which is my self-help book. You can get it on Amazon or at reallifepsychology.com. Links are below. All right, let's dive in because this is a crazy topic that I really want to share. And I think it's very important that people understand the difference between your public life and your private life. So we're going to start with private life. Being comfortable at home, talking to friends, watching TV, reading a book, and all of that is great. But you have to prepare yourself for the outside world when you're at home, which means you have to meditate, you have to exercise, you have to build a strong barrier because the wolves out there in the world are going to be ready to tear you down the next day. So you have to do things that create a peaceful private life, but prepare you for your public life. What you do in private should be private. The world should not know everything you do in private, meaning any arguments, any discussions, stuff like that. It doesn't always have to be public. So when I say prepare yourself for the outside world, you have to really meditate on things and focus on solving them. You have to exercise because exercise is actually not just for how your outside body looks, it's for how your inside body is as well. It helps you be stronger. It helps you feel stable. It helps you get motivated. There's so many things that exercise does. It's not just for the physical. It's actually for the mental as well and spiritual. Building up a stronger barrier, man, when you walk out that door, people are automatically on you. Right now is the time that you have to be prepared for any battle. And I say that because it could be something as simple as going to Starbucks and ordering something and they may have an attitude with you. They're not having a good day. You got to be ready and prepared for that. You have to have your mindset ready when you get up. Like, okay, today is going to be a great day. I got to fight off all these wolves, but it will definitely be worth it by the end of the day. So you have to make sure you do that. Number 2, do not bring work home in your private life. It is important that you have a work-life balance, meaning that what you do at work, do it at work. When you get home, be at home, because when you start connecting the two, the problem is you don't balance them out and you feel overwhelmed. You feel stressed out. Home feels like work, work feels like home, and you never have any real balance with that. So keep work at work and keep home at home. Now, I know a lot of people work at home right now. Okay, when your hours are done, be done. Don't keep worrying about work outside of your work hours, because then it feels like you're working nonstop and you never feel like you have a break. And that's what your private life is for, is a break to the outside world. Don't take your home to work, meaning don't go to work telling everybody your business. Me and my husband got in an argument last night, or, oh, my kids are da 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 da. I get building up rapport with people, but what that also does is give them a perception of you that you don't really need them to know. You want them to have the public view of you, not the private view of you. Your private life is for you to interact with your loved ones, your family and friends, and it should be private. When you start taking it to work, then you have people at work knowing your business, and then that causes a problem. Oh, she probably out with Timmy tonight and got drunk. That's why she ain't here. You don't want them in your business. So you need to keep your home life at home as well. And then also, don't bring other people's drama to your house. Leave it at the door. Because what happens is when you start worrying about everybody else more than you're worried about yourself, then you don't have time to meditate. Then you don't have time to exercise. Then you don't have time to fight the wolves off. You're so busy worrying about what other people are doing. You're not handling your business yourself. I'm not saying, somebody can't call you and discuss or vent. I'm saying when you go out and you have lunch with your friends and they're telling you all their business and doing all of this stuff, or you're at work and there's issues or whatever, when you get home, Be about home. Spend time with those that are at home waiting to see you. And if you don't have anyone at home, spend time with yourself. Meditate and focus on what you want to do. Watch a good show, read a good book, take that bath, do things that are important to you so you feel re-energized for the next day. Don't sit around until 11 o'clock at night focusing on what other people did at work or what other people's problems are. You talk to your friend on your way home and now you want to talk about it to your husband for 5 hours. No. Have your private time. Leave everything else in the world. Private time is for you to gather your thoughts, spend quality time with your family and friends. You're not supposed to be pissed off about everything that's going on. And you have to allow yourself to de-stress and focus on what is important to you. So be private. Allow your private life to be private. Now, we're going to jump into public. Lights, camera, action, people. When you go out, everybody has cameras. Everybody has their smartphones. Everybody has, so many things going on with them. You have to be cautious of your surroundings. And the reason I say that is because you see those pictures on Walmart where somebody went out looking a hot mess and then they get captured and now they're all over social media. You have to be cautious of how you present yourself to the world. They don't know how you genuinely are. They just see what is presented to them at that moment. So you have to make sure that you are aware of your surroundings. You're aware of how you present yourself and you're aware of what, other people are perceiving of you. And I know that sounds stupid. Like, I don't care what people think about me. Well, honestly, you should. Because if you're out there with a do-rag on and house shoes and a bonnet and whatever, and you meet into a potential employer or you run into, someone and there's opportunities out there, you always want to be ready. Your public self should always be ready. All right. Be careful how you address people in public. If you own a business, especially, you want to compliment your business. You want to make sure that you are doing things that people can look at you and be like, oh, wow. You don't want to be out the house with a robe and house shoes on talking about your beauty consultant because no one's going to hire you. For me personally, being a life coach, I have to be presentable. People want to know that I'm knowledgeable. I can't be out there smoking a blunt and, hey, whatever, and then talking about people on how to live their life. I'm not saying anything's wrong with smoking, but what I'm saying is that's what you do in private. That's not what you do in public. So you have to be able to distinguish the two, how people are going to perceive you, because you never know who's watching and what opportunities are out there for you. I know I've talked about this a little bit, but, be appropriately dressed. Have you ever noticed that every time you look a hot mess, you run into somebody that that you haven't seen in a long time? That's the universe telling you, don't do it. Stop running. Okay, you need some spaghetti sauce and you gotta, run to the store. At least throw your hair in a bun and put on some flip-flops or something. It doesn't have to be house shoes and a bonnet, people. Be presentable. You never know what can happen in public. Now, this one's more of a little or touchier subject. You have to give people just enough to want more. You want to be the person that they think you are when you're out, because this is how you create boundaries. And this is how people feel they can approach you. If you are too available and you are too, out there and you're private and your public constantly cross paths, people feel like they can come to you in public and talk to you about anything. You might be sitting there at a park at a birthday party or something, and someone that you just talked to 2 nights ago comes up. So how you and your man doing, girl? Because remember last night when you told me, there are boundaries that need to be set. So when you're in public, people know this is how you approach me. This is how you talk to me. This is how I'm going to talk to you. You're not going to divulge certain things in public. If someone comes up to you and go, how are you and your husband doing? We're doing wonderful. Talk to you about that later, girl. Don't sit there and engage in things that other people are hearing that are giving them the perception of you that they're only hearing bits and pieces and they don't need to know. This allows for you to have a private life and a public life. People don't need to know everything about you. They only need to know what you need them to know. The people in your private life know more about you. The people in your public life know what is necessary to know. When celebrities go out, they know they're being watched. They know they're being photographed. They know they're being recorded. They're putting on a show so you can bite into what they're selling. And that's exactly what we do. When they're wearing Gucci from head to toe, they're selling. When they're, have their own products out and they're posing for pictures, they know what they're doing. They're selling. Sell yourself in that same manner. You don't have to be a celebrity. Everybody doesn't have to know your name in order for you to feel that you have to be a public figure, because with social media now, everybody's a public figure. So you have to be able to understand that your public self is what you are presenting to the world. Just because people don't know your name doesn't mean it's not a public thing. Really, on the contrary, in public, you got to pay more attention to what's going on around you, because people are constantly snapping and recording and trying to figure out what's going on, and you can be caught in that. So you really want to make sure that you're paying attention to your surroundings and you're presentable and you're giving people what you want them to see. Next, find a trustworthy person to divulge any of your private life to, preferably a friend, a sponsor, a therapist, a life coach, or a trusted family member. You don't want to tell all of your friends all of your business, because when you tell them everything, what happens is when you're over it, they may not be over it. So they're still talking to you about stuff that you've already, registered and figured out and fixed. They're not over it. They're still, well, why are you still talking to her? I thought you guys weren't friends. Or why are you still talking to him? I thought y'all broke up. And why are you? You need to talk to a person, or maybe two, but not everybody needs to know every aspect of your life. You need a sponsor or a life coach or a friend or a family member that is private, that is understanding, and that will allow you to vent without telling other people. That way, you are keeping that aspect of your life private. I'm not saying that friends are not going to know certain aspects of your life, but they don't need to know everything. I have come to the conclusion that me being a real friend doesn't mean that I have to tell everybody all of my business, because what happens is, when I'm over it and they're not, they're still feeding it to you, and then you're still thinking about it, and then you might get mad again over it when you've already went through that cycle of your life. Just tell it to somebody who you trust and you know they won't divulge it, and move on, and then fix the problem. Changing your mindset is a reality check. You're learning more about yourself. You are learning how to be in public. You're learning how to be in private. And the cool thing is, once you get it down, you're a better version of yourself. You're the best version of yourself. You're the best version of yourself in private. You're the best version of yourself in public. And then you begin to love life. You're operating in a sense that you are valid. You are humble. You are appreciative. And then you don't have to fight off the privacy wolves because they don't know anything. You just have to fight off the public wolves. And that allows you to be the person that you want to be. Either you are going to run your day, or you are going to let your day run you. I hope this helps you in some form, because it is very important in personal growth that you learn how to be the best you. In doing that, you have to have the private you and you have to have the public you. You're not being fake. You're being you. You are allowing some things to be left unseen and unheard, because those are things that you value, things that you want to keep sacred. And then the public you is what you present to the world. You are the hardworking, you are the determined, you are the strong, you are this person. You can go home and cry and drink wine and do whatever you need to do. But when you are in public, you need to make sure that you're giving the world the best version of yourself. And sometimes every day that means coming home and replenishing. It's a very busy life. And so every day when you get home, you have to replenish. You can't take out the world and bring it home with you. You have to be able to leave it out there, get home, replenish, meditate, focus, prepare yourself for the next day, and get out there. So if you don't already, please like and subscribe and follow me on Instagram and also on TikTok and Facebook. And we will just keep on talking about how to support each other and how to prepare for the world and how to have a better life. Thanks for watching and enjoy your Sunday.